Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Men Matter series on the male perspective. The podcast that's all about dispelling stereotypes and shining a light on the rich and varied experiences of Black men from all around the world. Each episode aims to broaden understanding and foster appreciation for their unique stories that often go unheard. Now, here is your host, Lana Reed, to introduce you to yet another remarkable Black man with an insightful perspective to share.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana Reed, and today, on this day, I have the pleasure of sitting down with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Eddie Wright. He is the founder, CEO, and executive director of We Can Win Foundation, out here doing some impactful work in the cancer field, prostate cancer, breast cancer, and more. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with him today, learning more about the work that he's doing. But first and foremost, sir, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we can't get it back. So I truly appreciate you setting aside this time to chat with little old me. And with that, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, I've got a little bit of time and a long way to go. Ain't that what the pastor said?
I gotta use that one. I gotta use that one the next time I preach here.
There you go. I got a little bit of time and a long way to go. So,
all right.
So let me get in here and start talking. I want to start off talking about your personal journey. So in 2012, the doctor gave you a call. You went to the doctor gave you a call. So I want to ask, first and foremost, what prompted you to go to the doctor, and what was that call about with your doctor? What did he tell you?
Well, first and foremost, thank you again for having me and the We Can Win Foundation here. We had just gone to the doctor a couple of weeks prior, and my PCP called me and he says, Mr. Wright, I need you to come back in to see me. I'm like, man, hey, I was just with you 2 weeks ago. And he's like, yeah, I know, but there's something I need to discuss with you. And I said, okay, I'll be there. So I went in. And when I walked in, went into his office and we began to talk. And he said to me, I'm really concerned that your PSA has gone from a 2.5 to a 5.5 in a little less than 12 months. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is it? What are you talking about? Right. So I began to ask those questions. First of all, what is the PSA? What is a prostate? What does the prostate do? Where is it located? Look, I'm a 52-year-old, pretty educated African American man, and didn't know a thing about a prostate or prostate cancer. So he began to tell me about it, and I said, okay, so what is all this about? He says, well, I have a concern that you may have prostate cancer. And when he said that, the only thing I heard after cancer was like a Daffy Duck show, da 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 da, yada yada yada. Didn't hear anything else past that. But again, a great doctor, and he began to explain things to me. And so he said to me, "Look, I'm going to have you make an appointment with the Palo Alto Medical Foundation." I was living in California at the time, and want you to have a biopsy. And I was like, a biopsy? What is that? Right? And I didn't know what that was. Found out real easy. But on my journey, I ended up having 6 biopsies, which no man should ever have that many biopsies. Just so your audience will know, 2, maybe 3 at the most, but 6 way out the picture. So I did that, and I was on my way on vacation. I was going to Jamaica for a little bit, and I got a call while I was in the airport, and my doctor says to me, Mr. Wright, we found a small trace of prostate cancer about the size of a tip of an ink pen, but don't worry about it. Like, whoa, back this train
Wait a
up.
minute.
Did you just tell me I had cancer and not to worry about it? He's like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to schedule you an appointment when you come back off your vacation, and going to meet with a panel of doctors, and we're going to try to figure this thing out. So that's what I did. Went on vacation, came back, met with a panel of doctors, about 12 doctors, dietitians, radiologists, oncologists, urologists, and I'm sitting at this table going, hey, wait a minute, am I about to die or what?
All these people around me, yes.
So they calmed that fear right away, and we started talking about options. So I met with a radiologist about a week later. Then I met with a urologist about a week after that. First thing the urologist said to me is that I think we should remove your prostate. Now, mind you, I'm 52 years old, relatively healthy. And I said to him, well, I think you should reconsider, right? One thing we have to understand about when we see a doctor is that the doctor works for us. We pay him, our insurance companies pays him or whatever, but their decision is not always the last decision or the best decision. So I said to him, we're not going to remove my prostate. So let's just throw that one out the window. So what are the other options? So he said to me, well, let's consider active surveillance. I'm like, okay, so what is active surveillance? It's commonly called watch and wait, where we just basically watch the prostate to see what it's going to do over a period of time. And if it does nothing, then we do nothing. If it progresses, then we take a look to see what the next step is going to be. So I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you offer me this option the first time? If that's the case, right? And I said that to say this, Lana. We have men, black men especially, who are having healthy prostates removed by unethical doctors. Right? This is a disease that's 99% curable, but it's killing us at twice the rate of any other race. Right? Two in every six or two in every eight men, black men, will die from prostate cancer. To me, unnecessarily because it's a 99% curable disease. And so we did that. We watched it. I went to get a blood test every 3 months. Everything, seemed to be pretty cool. And then in 2015, I moved to Texas. Went to VA Healthcare. They sent me to UT Southwestern. And as I was seeing my VA doctor, he says, look, I'm not comfortable with your prostate, with the way your prostate is feeling, because not only did I have to have 6 biopsies, I can't even tell you the number of finger probes I had because I didn't know any better, right? And so he said, I don't like the way it's feeling and the size of it. So I'm going to send you to UT Southwestern. I met with a fabulous medical team, Dr. Hanan and his nurse practitioner, Tamara Dickinson. And I tell people this all the time. We have become like family. I have their personal numbers in my phone. That's how caring they were. And he looked me in the eye and he says, look, this thing is not going to kill you. I'm like, okay. He says, all these other therapies out there, I don't think you're a good candidate, but I do think you're a good candidate for um, this treatment, this therapy that they call the seed therapy or the marker therapy now. It had just come off of a clinical trial called SBRT, and it has a 99% success rate. I said, okay, well, let's go for it. Because look, man, either one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to go in for the exam, go in for the procedure. I'm either going to come out or I'm not coming out. Either way, I'm good with it, right? Now I'm 53 years old, and actually, no, I'm 55 years old then. And so we go through this thing, and I'm like, man, 55 years old. Then I got to think, wait, let's hold back on this for a minute, right? Got to think it back. So 2012, 2015, that's 3 years is going by. So I'm 55, 56. Another 4 years go by, and I'm like, oh, okay. If you're saying that something is happening, this thing is growing outside of the prostate wall, let's make it happen right now. Right. So I have this procedure, and that was in 2018 in December. I was considering remarrying, and the young lady that I'm married to now was dating at the time. I said, "Look, are you sure you want to get married to me?" I said, "Look, I'm a few years older than you. Now I got prostate cancer. I'm not sure what the future holds. How does this look for you? You know?" And so I said, "You okay with that?" She said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that." I'm like, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that." So we've been married almost 7 years now, right? Um, but it's a difficult road, you know. I'm thankful to God because I tell people all the time, being diagnosed with prostate cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? Of course, people look at me like I'm crazy, and I tell them, no, this was God ordained because God healed me and then allowed me to take this message across the country and throughout other parts of the world. So, that's who I am. I'm making some noise. I'm gonna keep making noise until we bring an end to this disease.
There you go. There you go. Now you mentioned you touched on a couple of things that I kind of want to go circle back and unpack. Because just across the board within the Black community, we tend to have some distrust when it comes to the medical community already as it is. And some of that is historical. Um, and you mentioned that you went to one doctor while you were in California and another one at the VA. We're getting different diagnoses. So, what would you advise a Black when he steps into, if he's going to be proactive about his prostate care? When he steps into a doctor's office, what questions should he ask? What can he, does he have the right to ask for certain types of treatments and tests,
Oh,
no matter
absolutely.
what the doctor's advising him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, again, we're the customer, more or less, right? They
Mm-hmm.
work for us.
Mm-hmm.
So by that, we're given that right to
Mm-hmm.
ask the questions that we need to ask. And if you don't answer those questions, we have the right to dismiss you as our doctor. Plain
Mm-hmm.
and simple. And a lot of us don't know that. A lot of men go by whatever the doctor said to them, right? Say, okay, so the doctor said you cut off your ear, you're going to cut your ear off? Or you're going to go check with another doctor to make sure we don't need to cut this ear off. Maybe we just need to
True.
put a patch on it, right?
True.
And so what happens is a lot of Black men go to the doctor. The doctor recommends a therapy or treatment, and medication or whatever. And we say, okay, doc, okay, well, okay, I'm good with that. And we're doing more harm than we're doing good instead of saying, well, wait a minute, let's back this train up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Let me talk to another doctor, get a second
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Now, one red flag is if you say to a doctor, let me get a second opinion, and the doctor objects to that, that's a red flag. Walk out
Okay.
right then and there, right?
Okay.
Because our lives are in these guys' hands, right?
Yes.
Now, my prostate cancer was a little bit different because I was doing military service in Vietnam, and they said that the assumption was we got prostate cancer from our airplanes bringing Agent Orange back to the aircraft carrier that I
Mm-hmm.
was on, and so forth and so on. So the problem here when men go in to see doctors, first, they have no clue about prostate cancer. As much noise as we're making, they don't have any clue about it. They don't know what questions to ask because, again, they don't know about it. But when you go to the doctor, the recommendation is if you're 40, at least 40, you should ask the doctor to run a PSA test,
Mm.
prostate specific antigen. It's a 3-second blood test. Listen, I was talking with a doctor not very long ago from MD Anderson Cancer Research Center, who's one of our partners. And the doctor said to me that the medical community now is actually talking about kicking the finger probe because it's not proven anything. However, what we have to understand is that for over 50 years, the medical community told us that that's the way we diagnose prostate cancer. Big lie, one of the biggest lies ever told to us, right?
Mm.
And so because I'm so into being transparent about this, I've made a few enemies along the way. But hey, it's okay with me because I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep making the noise.
There you
But
go.
let's tell the truth to our people. We've been lied
Right.
to so much about
So much.
different types of medical treatments and especially these cancers. Um, it's now time that somebody was big enough and bold enough to stand up
Mm.
and in front of that big audience and tell the truth. And so we don't have to have the finger probe or what they call the digital rectal exam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, will it come later? A possibility, if you're diagnosed with prostate cancer, because the doctor needs to, feel the size and feel the
Okay.
placement. But that's all the finger probe does. It does not prove that you have prostate cancer,
Okay.
right? It's proven through a blood test.
Okay. So we just got to convince the brothers that hey, all you need to do is give some blood.
That's it. 3 seconds, you're out of there, man.
Awesome, awesome. Now, one of the things that you said was concerning to me, and I'm wondering if, in retrospect, you have figured out how we could have changed this the way it played out. You said you had 6 biopsies. Is it why? I mean, is it something like you could have said, hey, wait a minute, let me. What happened there?
Again, Lana, if you don't know, you don't know,
Okay,
right? And so I was one before I got into the space where I am now. I
okay,
was one who agreed with the doctor, except for that
okay.
one thing about removing my prostate. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, doc, you're the doctor. You went to school for this thing. Hey, I put my trust in you.
Okay.
And And that's exactly what I did. The doctor said that we need to do another biopsy. We need to see what this cancer is doing. So
Okay.
now, again, I'm hearing cancer. I'm scared, right? I was one of the first to admit I was scared. However,
Mm-hmm.
um, a good note to make here is that whenever you're diagnosed with cancer, whether it be prostate cancer, breast cancer, whatever, don't be quiet. Make
Make
some
some
noise.
noise.
Talk to everybody. Prostate
Mm-hmm.
cancer is called the silent killer for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when I got the call, man, I called everybody in my phone contact list. Friends, enemies, family. I called everybody.
Talking to
People
the
that I
people in the
talked to
grocery
in 10
store line.
years, people in the grocery store,
You
at
heard
the
about
train
prostate?
station, in the airports. I'm telling everybody, man, I got prostate cancer, right? Like it's a big thing, right? But that's what we have to do. Men clam up
Mm,
because it's embarrassing to some of
mm-hmm.
them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially after you have your prostate removed.
Mm-hmm.
It changes life in a whole different spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
especially the bedroom manner.
Mm-hmm.
And an African American male, when you take that away from us, it's like taking our manhood away.
Yeah.
And that's a statement I've heard quite a
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
Uh, But we work in a space now where some of these big farmers and pharma companies and prosthesis manufacturers are now really talking to the Black community because they were hearing that these numbers are going up as well. Men are committing suicide, falling into deep depression because the bedroom manner has changed. I
Mm.
cannot tell you how many times I've spoken to Black men around the country, from the projects to the suburbs. Man, I'm not doing that, man. That's gonna take away
Mm.
my manhood. You
Mm.
know, now you just opened up a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But look, I have friends in my circle that I've met over these years, and they have said to me that, look, man, I was ready to give up. I was ready to die. And then I connected with this company. So look, there's, so you heard about a whole lot of stuff. So there's pills, there's uh needle shots and all kind of things. But what's getting the attention now is penile implants,
Mm.
99% success rate. And just to be
Mm.
candid about it, I'm hearing some of my friends say, man, my whole life changed.
It's a new
My
world.
whole life changed.
New
And
world.
I was talking to a couple in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta last weekend. I was talking to a couple, and the wife was saying, yeah, he's right. And his whole life changed. And I asked him, man, you should have been had this done. You know. And
Oh,
so look, we have to keep this thing candid so that the brothers will understand, man, there's life after
there's
prostate,
life
having the
after
prostate
this.
removed. There's
You
life after this thing,
there's
right?
life after this.
But,
Now,
to come back to your question, yeah, look, we can't just do what the doctor say do. Ask the
yes.
question.
Ask the questions. Now, one
Yeah.
things that I heard you say that was extremely helpful, because it kind of goes against what you think of when you hear cancer, is that prostate cancer is 99% curable. Um,
99% cure.
is this messaging getting into the Black community, or no?
Look, here's the problem. Um, if we don't know, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been historically noted to keep certain things out of our community.
Mm,
Got to think about it. Prostate surgery is about 150,000, right? And so you juggle 150,000 with ethical behavior.
oh
And
yeah.
sometimes the 150,000 is going to outweigh the ethics, right? But uh, that's why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
When I had this conversation with my wife, um, about, I don't know, maybe about 6 months after we got married, just before COVID was ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, babe, somebody's got to do something about this. Somebody's got to be bold enough to say something because no
Mm-hmm.
one is saying anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked about it a few times. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do something about this thing. She said, what you gonna do? I said, well, I'm gonna start a nonprofit
You
to
can
get
do
out there and tell the truth about it. So I started doing some research on prostate cancer and getting the numbers and other nonprofits that are involved in our space. But I couldn't find too many African American companies. So what I found out was that 2 years in, I found out that we are the only African American veteran owned nonprofit in the United States that do what we do, right? Because I'm committed
There
until
you
I
go.
take my last breath
There
to
you
make
go.
the noise, to get the information to our community, and get these black men into the doctor. We have several partners that we work with that'll come out and do on-site screening. We can refer you, get you free screening, because I've worked with organizations who said to me, "Well, Dr. Wright, it's not that much to get a PSA done. It's only between $35 and $60 for each
Mm,
test." I said, "Yeah, but think about this. You have an African American family where just the father is working, and the wife has two kids at home. He's making minimum wages,
mm-hmm.
and that $35 to $60 could be a meal for a week,
Yeah.
right?" And so we advocate, we talk to lawmakers, we speak to our senators, our congressmen. I go to DC every year with an organization called Zero Prostate Cancer, and we make the noise on the Hill to try to get these guys to sign off on these bills, right? So we can eliminate the cost of a PSA screening test, right?
Mm.
We got to do something to make
Gotta
this
do
thing right,
something.
you
Gotta
know.
do, gotta
We
do
got to do
something.
something to make it right. And so we're going to keep on making the noise.
Keep
I'm going
on
to keep
making the
on
noise.
knocking on doors. I'm going to
There you
keep on
go.
screaming loud
There you
until
go.
every black man in the United States has free access to PSA screening.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, another thing I want to ask you, and I'm not sure if you know the facts, but I'm asking anyways. It from what I read is Black men are more likely to be diagnosed and the mortality rates are higher. Is that for some reason, or is it just the medical professional, just a profession just tends to give our community that diagnosis?
Well, I can't blame the medical community for that one. The medical community is still trying to figure out why prostate cancer kills so many black men.
Okay.
Right? Not only that, black men are diagnosed more than any other male at late stages.
Oh, late.
You know,
Okay.
now that can be caused by several things. Not going to the doctor to get tested, right? Um, then when they do go to get tested, it's late staged,
Mm-hmm.
right? Stage four, stage three, stage four metastatic prostate cancer. And you in four stage metastatic, you start writing your will out, start getting ready to go, because it's devastating. It can attack the bones,
Mm-hmm.
it can attack vital organs, you know. So this deadly disease is a horrible disease, especially to die from, you know. Um, but we're seeing younger men now dying from prostate cancer, 35 years old. You know, I was talking to a
Is
friend
it
in
in the
Atlanta who was telling me
food? What
that.
are we doing wrong?
Look, look, what we're, that's a great question. What we're doing wrong is we're not going to the doctor because we're scared. We're afraid to go to the doctor. You
Yeah.
ask the average black man why they don't go to the doctor, fear is the number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to erase that negative narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the doctor, right? That's why shows like yours are so important so that men will understand that this thing is only a 3-second blood test. Go to the doctor. You know, I mean, I've heard guys say, "Man, I'm scared of needles." Come on, man, you're 280 pounds, 6'5". Go to the doctor, man, and get this blood test, right?
Needle is much better than the other way.
Hey, I'd rather be standing straight up vertical than be laying down horizontal, right? And so the kicker again is that uh, we don't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine if you put yourself in this imaginary bubble with your mate, and your mate dies from prostate cancer, you find out after he dies that he had prostate cancer, how's that going to affect you? Right? You're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, if only he would have told me. Maybe there
Mm-hmm.
was something that I could have done to help him.
Yeah.
Um, because everything changed. Now you're wondering, say, man, what's wrong with you? We used to be real cool behind these doors. Now all of a sudden, you cheating on me, or you don't love me
Mm-hmm.
no more. So these are the things that happen, right? These are the things that happen, but these things are preventable now, right? Because look, I'm telling you, I'll say this kind of candidly. You can cut it if you want to, but when I speak to my partners at Boston Scientific, and I saw the products that they produce. I actually was able to watch the video of a surgery, and it was gross to the max, right? To see them do this, but the results that they're getting from it is crazy.
Mm.
Good thing is, it's 100% paid for by insurance, right? So if you have prostate cancer, and it caused if you had your prostate removed or you had prostate cancer, without having your prostate removed, but it's still causing erectile dysfunction, man, I'm telling you, they're selling this implant like cotton candy at a fair. Yeah, because now the word is getting out, right?
Mm.
But let's get the word out before you get to that stage.
Thank you.
You see what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So if a man does go to the doctor, he's proactive and the doctor does say the big cancer word. Um, what are the variety of treatment options that he has?
Okay, so depending on where you are in your journey, with me, it started off with active surveillance. We just wanted to watch it, see what it was going to do, right? Went in for a blood test every 3 months, make sure my PSA was staying level. When it started acting crazy, it was time to make another move, right? But I mean, there's all kind of treatment options out there, radiation, hormone treatments, um, outside of getting your prostate removed, depending on how serious it is. They're still using chemotherapy, which is nothing but a poison. Excuse me, that I don't recommend, right? So, yeah, I mean, those are a few of the options that's out there. And, with me after my procedure, so I take one capsule every day. It's called Tomasolone or Tomasolone, just depends on, what part of the country you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but basically, it controls the fluctuation of the prostate against the urethra, right?
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
when the urethra is when the prostate gland is swollen, it pushes down on the urethra, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to force urine
Go
or
to the restroom. Yeah.
whatever through. This actually opens it up, makes it a little
Awesome.
bit easier to use the restroom, stuff like that. So I take that every day, and that's the only medication that I take, you know.
Mm-hmm.
However, um, these companies are coming out with new and improved treatments every day.
Mm.
New and improved treatments every day. Um, there's one that's out right now that I think Novartis puts it out. Yeah, Novartis puts it called Pluvecto, and it's supposed to be reversing the stages of prostate cancer from fourth stage metastatic back to stage one, right?
Awesome.
So, progress is being made. The problem here again is all of this stuff has to be tested,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you say to us, hey, I want you to come in and get into this clinical trial, first thing we do is turn around and go the other way.
We remember stuff like Tuskegee and stuff like that.
That's the first conversation we have. We
Mm-hmm.
start talking about Tuskegee. But look, Tuskegee happened 85 years ago. The probability of that happening again is probably very slim,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I say to these guys, you take Tylenol, you take cough syrup,
You drink a Pepsi.
vitamins, anything you put in your body, medication wise, had to be in a clinical trial at some point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the medical association is not just going to put a drug out on the market. It's got to be tested and then it's got to be approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with clinical trials for prostate cancer. They can't treat it if they don't know how to treat it. So these doctors, urologists, radiologists, scientists, they're creating new and improved methods of how to eradicate prostate cancer, but we got to get people in the trials. I was on a call earlier, and we're talking about the same. They want to know, Dr. Wright, how can you help us to get these people in for these trials? Got to
Mm,
get them. I'm a huge advocate for clinical trials.
trials.
See? Now
Yeah.
the problem there is, I was at an NAACP event not too long ago. I walked over to a table. First thing the lady said to me, "Hey, would you like to be a part of our clinical trial?"
Hey, hold
I
on,
looked at
ease
that
up
lady
on
like she
me.
was crazy. I looked at
Ease
her like
up.
she was, what? Clinical what?
Ease
And
me in
so
here.
she didn't know who I was. I had a display there. And I said, ma'am, you are never going to get anybody in your clinical trial with that aggression.
Hmm.
Now she looking at me like I'm crazy. Who is this guy? Right? So I say this to her. I say, what if you approach with something like, "Hi, my name is so and so and so and so. This is our company. We are a company that specializes in clinical trials and so forth and so on." A lead in to,
Hmm.
would you like to be a part of this clinical trial?
That's right.
You know, so that's another problem we have:
You don't
aggression.
know how, yeah, you don't know how to talk to us and break us into the situation. Yes.
And you can't talk to us just any kind of way.
Any kind of way.
Look,
We
we
already
gotta
looking
be.
at you sideways, like what?
Hey, might have been born on Monday, but not last Monday, you know?
Yes,
So
indeed.
it's,
Yes,
it's a
indeed.
wide open
So,
world.
yes, indeed. So we got work to do to get the word out. I
That's
mean,
right.
just get the information out. And that's always the problem with us in our community. It's just when stuff that is for our betterment, it
Yes.
seems to be slowly trickled to us. So,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
that's what we're doing over there. Well, let me move on because I have just, spent all that time just in your business. So
I love it. I love it. Stay in my business.
in your business. But let me move on to some of the other work that you guys are doing over there at Weekend Win. And I see that you have a scholarship that you have
Yes.
given out. So tell us more about the scholarship because we like money for the kids.
Yeah, so our scholarship fund was named in honor of my mother, uh, L.C. Wright, and it's called the L.C. Wright Educational Foundation Scholarship. And right now it's sort of minuscule. It's growing. We want to get it to a place where we can award at least $10,000 per student. Um, so right now, we give that scholarship to a graduating senior who's going into the medical profession. And, we grant the scholarship on need, not rather than GPA, because we
Okay.
found out that some of our young Black kids could have a low GPA, but have a real serious need and they want to go
Oh
to
yeah.
college, right? So we decided to do what's called the maintenance scholarship now.
Mhm.
Because as I stated before, for some reason, trying to get kids to come and get money, I don't get it. It was kind of hard. So the person that got our scholarship this year, we decided to give her $2,000 or more every year until she graduates, right?
Mm.
Which will add up to about $10,000, right? It makes it a little bit easier for us. It makes it easier for our county and everything else, right?
With
So
everything you got
my
going
mom
on.
was a nurse. My mom was a
Okay.
nurse for 45 years. She was my best friend. Um,
Oh.
traveled with me everywhere I went when I was in the beauty industry, and
Mhm.
she was just a stickler for education. With me, sometimes I think, man, I sure wish my mom would have been here to see some of the progress that I made because
She is. She
I was a
is.
high school senior that dropped out of school because I was getting ready to have a kid and went into the Navy. And I said, man, this ain't gonna get it. So I got my GED the first year I was in the Navy. Then I started doing other stuff, trying to gain some more knowledge. And then got out the Navy, got into the beauty industry, stayed there for 17 years, got into ministry, went to Bible college, obtained a doctorate degree in Christian theology, and then a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I think it was now, um, 2023, 2022, I went back to school and got a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity.
Okay.
And I have a biblical certification from a Bible college in California. So it's never too late,
No.
right? It's never too late. And what I found out is that, getting this PhD, and I never did use the doctor or designation in front of my name, until a friend of mine says, "Look, that that designation you worked for, start
Mhm.
using it. It's going to bring some attention." A pastor friend of mine's wife, real good friend, one of my sorors, as a matter of fact,
Mhm.
and we started using it, and life changed. I
There
don't
you
get
go.
it.
Open some doors for you.
I
Open
don't
some
get it.
doors for you.
So I'm very humble. I'm not title driven. God has placed me in some really nice spaces. I was just with Dwight Eubanks from
Oh,
uh,
okay.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, down in Atlanta last week. I got to meet him and chat with him about
Okay.
his prostate cancer journey, because he just announced that he has prostate cancer,
Mhm.
and he's in active surveillance. So I was able to talk to him a little bit about that. Um, I have another friend. I probably need to connect you guys. Her name is Landy Moldoro. She wrote this documentary called The Silent Killer, talking about the journey of an African American man with prostate cancer. She wrote it she was into it for about a year. She found out that her father was diagnosed
Mhm.
with fourth stage prostate cancer. Then a year later, diagnosed with fourth stage pancreatic cancer. Still
Mhm.
living, doing real good. But she's working on another documentary. It's called The Ties That Bind.
Mhm.
And guess what? I'm gonna be in that documentary. I just thought I'd get that little pun in there,
Big things, doing big
Yeah.
things, doing
But
big
God
things.
has
As
opened up,
as your frat says, getting in good trouble.
getting in good trouble, getting in good trouble. God has opened up some remarkable doors, for me and for my foundation. Um, I never would have believed that this would be happening to me. But it's with me, it's not about fortune, it's not about fame, it's not about accolades. It's about saving lives.
There you go.
And if I can get one guy to go in and get his PSA test done,
Mhm.
mission accomplished.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Well, let me ask, because I got a couple more questions I want to ask you. I want to make sure I get in before I ask my random question. You got some big stuff coming up in 2026. You guys have a health and wellness fair coming up.
Yeah.
So, what is that about, and what are the ways that people can be involved with that?
Hey, this will be our sixth annual Together We Can Win Total Health Fair. It's going to be called now. It was called the Symposium before, but we changed that to Total Health Fair. It opened up doors. We're bringing in better sponsors. Well, not better sponsors, but we're bringing in more sponsors, and more vendors that will talk about prostate cancer, breast cancer, um, blood cancers, colorectal cancer, a variety of different types of cancers. It's going to be happening on May 9th, 2026, at the DeSoto Civic Center in the beautiful Blue Bonnet Rooms. I mean, this place is awesome. And we bring in doctors. We have a panel discussion. We get testimonies from survivors of breast and prostate cancer. We give away 5 different awards. We give away television sets. We give away barbecue pits. And when I tell you, when we start getting into this thing, it's a lot of work. Foot soldiers be out there trying to talk to department stores, trying to get giveaways. We
Awesome.
have a catered lunch, by the real chef Duke, who's like my little sister.
Oh,
She's been catering our events for the last 5 years. But the most part of this is we bring in vendors that are able to show their wares. Some are in the cancer space, some are not. But the reason we do this is to make the noise, to bring
mhm.
attention. This year we received a proclamation from Mayor Rachel Proctor. Um, who's the mayor of DeSoto. We went from post-COVID with 27 people to this year with 125 attendees, 23 vendors, 14 major sponsors.
There you
And man,
go.
look, I have an amazing team of people that work with me. My wife is director of volunteers. She get out there and get all those little kids from high school come and help carry boxes and set up vendor spaces. So it's a real big event. We really need people to come, but that we're going to be posting it to our website pretty soon.
Okay.
And let me just give you that website address. It's www.wecanwinpc, as P as in Peter, C as in Charles, wecanwinpc.org. And that website has a host of information, resources. When you first open up the site, you'll get a pop-up block where you can join our subscriber list. We send out a letter semi-annually to let folks know what's going on with us. And we're just looking to do big things next year. We're talking to some great people. I locked up one partnership today, and I'm hoping to lock in another partnership tomorrow. But God has really blessed us, and I have to give Him all the glory and all the credit because I could not have done this on my own. A lot of long sleepless nights, crying, trying to figure out how we gonna do this thing. We don't have no money. My wife and I funded this thing for the first three
Yeah.
years out of our own pockets. And we're not millionaires yet. Yet, notice I keep saying yet,
God
right?
will bless you.
But
God will
I
bless you.
believe that the Lord's going to bless because I believe in blessing people.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, look, the website is going to tell you everything you need to know. Please join our subscriber list. That's the big issue to keep in touch with us. We're going to be sending out our vendor information, our sponsor information pretty soon. Um, Tamika Johnson, who is my executive assistant, works, man, she works tirelessly. She is a full-time employee with another organization, and she works full-time keeping me straight, keeping me That's all I can say.
So you can
Yeah.
do what you do.
Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, I mean, we're working with another organization too called Acclinate now included, and that's going to be a really, really great partnership with them, helping to make that noise. We sort of think alike, and I'm not prejudiced or anything like that. People have called me all kinds of names and stuff like that, but I plan to continue to bring this to my community, working
Because it
with
impacts us more.
organizations that's in our community, work with some other organizations, but what's happening is a lot of these big companies, especially pharmaceutical companies, they want us to use their drugs, but they don't spend their money with boots on the ground, community organizations like us. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
call any names, but
Mm-hmm.
I've had to go toe to toe with some of them. Tell them, look, I'm not concerned about what you want to do. I'm concerned about what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's where the noise comes in. My friends in Philadelphia, not Philadelphia, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Blackout PCA, two females, two African American females, doing a great job in Pittsburgh, making the noise. I was just with them not too long ago. But look, it's gonna take the power of media like you have here to get the word out to people, put them in touch with us, whomever, so we can get them some referrals. They can have an open conversation. Hey, look, I want to go to the doctor, but I'm scared. We can walk you through the process. We'll stay on the cell phone with you while you're going to
Hold
the
your
doctor's
hand the whole
office
way through.
the whole way. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm appreciative when I get calls from organizations like yours to help us to get this information out. Let me give you my number. If they want to call me, they can call me at 972-816-9588. Now, I stopped taking calls at 10 o'clock because I found myself taking calls 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then, I'm going to sleep and I'm
The
thinking
wife
about
is looking at you like,
wow. That wife looking at me like, boy, if you don't hang that phone up. Yeah, so I stopped taking calls at 10. I start taking calls at 9 in the morning, Central Standard Time. And I'll talk you through it, man. I'll get you through
and
it.
brothers ain't got no reason not to seek some help, huh?
No reason. No
They
reason.
got Dr. Wright out
We're
here
not
saying, I'm a,
prejudiced. We don't care. We don't care what your color is. We don't
mm-hmm.
care whether you're a singer, a dancer, or entertainer, a multi-millionaire. We talk to everybody. We
Yes.
talk to everybody. It doesn't really matter.
As long as we get this
So
word
yeah,
out.
I'm excited, man. I'm so excited about 2026 is going to be an awesome year.
A great year.
Uh,
A great
and
year.
so, you know, I'm
Awesome.
grateful to you, for reaching out. I'm always touched when, someone reaches out, through our organization because of research that they have found us
Mm.
somewhere out there in the internet world. And, seeing that we're
Doing
really
big
serious
things.
about what we're doing.
Doing much needed impactful work. Like I said, I have too many men in my life who are still like, I'm not going to the doctor and I'm not going to be humiliated like that. So just to
Mm,
know that even in my own circle with today's new techniques, there's still so many men out here who still believe that it is a humiliating, robbing my manhood procedure, and
Yeah,
that's why they're not going to the doctor. And
exactly.
such a preventable, such a preventable
It
cancer.
is. It is. It tells you if you were a man when you went in, you're gonna be a man when you come out.
There you go. There you
There it
go.
is. They ain't changing nothing,
Hmm.
right? So just go get that blood test. Now I'm not saying you may not have to have the finger probe
Down the
later,
line,
down the
but you're
line
still
if
gonna
you're
be a
deciding,
man.
but hey, you're still gonna be a man.
Still gonna be a man. 10 toes down. Still gonna be a man.
That's right.
Well, sir, let me ask you my random question, and then, oh, wait a minute, one more thing. Your organization is branching out to doing some more can. We've been talking about prostate cancer this whole time, but I know you work with breast cancer, and you're going to be
Yeah.
opening up some. Give us the rundown on that before I want to make sure I get everything in here.
Well, we're getting into the multiple myeloma space now, because through Acclimate, I was invited to New Orleans to a conference they were doing down there, and found out that this blood cancer is another cancer that we don't know too much about.
Mm.
Excuse me. And then in a conversation with one of my cousins, I found out that her older sister, died somewhere in the late 90s, 58 years old, I think she was, from multiple myeloma. Right. And so I started doing some research before I went, and I found out that a lot of this blood cancer is caused by ingesting odors or chemicals that are in the air. And, New Orleans is,
Known for that, yeah.
so they built an apartment complex on top of a waste dump,
Hmm.
and they probably never cleared it all out. So my cousin passed from it. So now I have a personal touch with multiple myeloma. And so we're expanding a little bit into that area until I can learn more about it. It's a blood cancer. I do know that.
Hmm.
It's affecting Black people at a high rate, especially down in New Orleans. We've been asked to come into the colorectal space
Okay.
because colon cancer is another cancer that's taking out Black folks, you
Hmm.
know. But the breast cancer piece, the reason why I got into that is because not only do I know a lot of survivors, but I have a niece, San Antonio, that had aggressive breast cancer, but she caught it immediately. So I think she's an 8-year survivor now, right? But those numbers shot up a couple of years ago, where Black women ages 30 to 50 had a mortality rate of about 42%. And that's crazy. That
Hmm.
should not be happening, right? My god sister in New Orleans was just diagnosed with breast cancer. She had surgery last week. Thank God, they caught all of her cancer, and hopefully it will not return, right? So yeah, we're looking at, again, colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, stomach cancer. Why are these cancers affecting us so
Us,
much?
yes,
You know, of course, diet is one of the reasons. We eat everything, you
yes.
know, and I'm guilty. I eat it. I eat like I'm crazy sometimes, but certain foods can have an effect on us.
And plus the
Right?
environments that we're sometimes forced to live in as well, like you mentioned,
That's
New
that's right.
Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was telling my wife that not too long ago. We just bought a home in Glen Heights, and we're living in DeSoto. And I used to hate to get up in the morning to brush my teeth because the water smells so bad, And we never drink water from the faucet. We always drink bottled water. But I mean, why? This is America. We shouldn't have to do that, right? But when we moved to suburbs, the water is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
It don't stain your tub or your toilets like
Mm-hmm.
over there. I mean, it does if you don't clean them, but
Yeah.
but
But
over
yeah,
there, you can go to bed at night, wake up the next morning, you have all this the bacteria and whatever
yeah,
in your shower and everywhere else. So yeah, look, this thing is
gross.
affecting us around the spectrum,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people
yeah.
understand it.
People don't
But
understand. But that's why
if
we got Dr. Wright. He gonna learn us a thing or two.
I'm gonna try to learn y'all a little something, something.
All right. Let me ask you my random question, and then I'm gonna ask you to give us the website one more time. Here, let's see what I got here. I got my readers on. We was talking about how seasoned we are. What is your least favorite food?
What's my least favorite food?
Least-
Chitlin.
Oh, well, I don't eat meat, but
Chitlin.
back when I did, I don't understand why we still hold on to
Why do
that.
people eat that? I don't get it. Why do people eat that? Oh
Whew.
my God.
I know some people that swear, but I can't. I stopped eating meat a long time ago, but long before that, the chitlins was a no. Chitlins was a no.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Some black folks' habits are still some black folks' habits. So, anyways, well, you know what? I can say, one time went into some restaurant in Los Angeles here, and $70 for a plate of chitlins.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some folks,
And folks pay for it too.
pay for it. Well, sir, give us the website one more time so we can connect with you, possibly sponsor the fair and all of that stuff. Just let us know.
Yeah, the website is www.wecanwinpc, that's P as in Peter, C as in Charles, .org, wecanwinpc.org. If you reach out to us, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, we have a sponsor's perspective that we can send out to you that lists our different levels of sponsorship. Also, if you're interested in becoming a vendor, we have that we can get out to you as well. All you gotta do is go to the website, send us a communication from our contact page, tell us what you want, and we'll get it right out to you.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Wright, I truly appreciate the time. I truly appreciate your commitment. I just appreciate everything you're doing, because sometimes it's hard to get these brothers to do right, just to go to the doctor. So I'm glad. I'm glad you're pushing them through the door. Okay.
We're trying.
All righty, so you keep the good work up.
Thank you.
That is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana Reed, and I will see everybody next time.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Black Men Matter series on The Male Perspective. This podcast is an initiative of Conversations in Color, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to uplifting Black voices. Make sure to check out our website, conversationsincolor.org. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms. We'll see you on the next episode.